Thanks for listening to the AZ12 podcast, proudly presented by Little Caesars. Code 15OFF20, 15% off any $20 or more purchase. Code LCFREECC. Free crazy combo with a pizza purchase. All right, joined by John Brogan, Mr. Ben One White. We have a lot to get to this show. Arizona football is now 3-0 on the season. Listen, it wasn't a perfect game, obviously, guys, but the one thing I got to say is this. Arizona was the better team, and there weren't a lot of times last year when you watched any game and you're like, Arizona was the better team. Arizona just looked better. If you looked at the yards, you looked at the first downs, everything. Now, granted, they did some dumb things that we're going to talk about, but at the same time, though, guys, Brogan, Ben, this was an impressive win by Arizona, and we got to talk about the defense. Danny Gonzalez is just, and I think Brogan messaged in group, and he goes, they really fly around this year. They hit. The defense has been awesome, fellas.
We got so used to last year of 3rd and 10 where we would rush 3 and sit back in a zone and give up first downs.
Right.
Danny Gonzalez probably blitzed on about 60% of his defensive calls where he's sending at least one extra guy, and a couple of different times it was 2 or 3. And then he did a good job on the last drive where it was I show blitz, I show a ton of pressure, I back off, confusing Avery Johnson, who is average at best passing. And then when you've got a bunch of pressure and you're just showing a bunch of different things, then, you get what you get. But yeah, Arizona's defense was lights out. Kansas State, I think, had like 4 plays over 12 yards or something crazy like that for the game. Insane defense.
Yeah. I mean, it goes to show, right? When you score or not score, when you have under 200 total yards on the game, opposing defense did a pretty good damn job. You couldn't do much offensively if you were Kansas State. Avery Johnson probably played maybe the worst game of his career, or certainly one of them.
He kind of sucks.
You think of him as kind of a guy who can run, get out of the pocket and do things, but he wasn't able to do that. And you got to give Danny Gonzalez a lot of credit, because I think a lot of it was coaching, a lot of it was scheme. Arizona was certainly aggressive in bringing guys up from the field. I mean, Genesis Smith was everywhere. I mean, on so many blitzes, he stands out right away. The defensive front did a good job of holding up and getting to Johnson, and it just kind of rattled them, right? I think Arizona last year, obviously they had a lot of challenges defensively, but you think about like the edge of the field, right? Teams would just kind of attack the edge of the field with bubble screens and short outs, and Kansas State certainly tried to do that, but it just didn't work. So many tackles for loss, and it just really put them in a hole, and it was hard for them to get the ball moving. Conversely, Arizona, no problem, right? I mean, the run game was strong. Arizona was able to move the ball from the get-go. We're going to talk about the mishaps in the second half, but overall, the offense was right on point. Fafita looked really good. The run game looked really good. You got to tip your hat to Watley and Mahdi. I mean, they essentially carried this game along with Noah Fafita. So a lot of good things today.
All right, $4.99 Super Snap from Colton Hawthorne, $5 for land acknowledgement wins and orange slices from last year. Very much appreciate that. All right, the other thing too, guys, that we got to get into here is the defensive line, the front. Going into this season, I had no clue, fellas, what to expect. I mean, now, granted, there was a little bit of a reprieve under Jed, but under Rich Rod, under Sumlin, we were used to watching fairly, let's just call it mediocre fronts. Guys that they looked a little
mediocre.
Undersized.
That's nice.
I was going to say, I mean, I'm trying to be nice. Hey, it's a family-friendly show on this show. But, you were used to kind of look, that's just what, you were used to seeing. This, and honestly, that's what you saw last year as well. This year, though, it doesn't matter who's really out there. You see guys that are flying around, though. And again, they're hitting hard and they're not getting pushed around. Going into this game, and again, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that K-State is Alabama or something, but I guarantee you, and Brogan, you said this in text, you're like, last year, Arizona would have totally, I can't remember exactly what you said, but it was something about last year, Arizona would have folded, whatever the case may be. But you were spot on. This year, they're like, all right, we're going to rely on the defense, and the defense carried them again, fellas.
And with the defensive line, I don't necessarily think it's all of a sudden we've got world beaters on the defensive line, but I think the scheme is entirely different. You saw a lot of stunts where McKnight was basically able to slice through the line, a sack, couple tackles for loss, stop and running plays. But Malachi Riley, same idea. But I think Gonzalez has got the defensive line moving around enough, showing enough pressure to give them a little bit of an edge. Whereas last year it was, we line up 4 guys, probably not better than the O-line we're going against, and they would lose. But now there's enough scheme going on to compensate for whatever we lack in talent, speed, size, whatever, but they're making plays. So 3 games in, the D-line has been really, really good.
Yeah, and Ben, this score, like, again, you're going to look at it, it's going to be a 3-point or a 6-point win or whatever the case may be, but it didn't feel like that, though. This felt like a game. I mean, you look at the yards, you look at the first downs, there were some boneheaded things that Arizona did. The special teams was a disaster. We'll obviously get to that. But the things between the lines on both sides of the football, on the offense and the defense, this is a better team than Kansas State. And, going into the year, I don't know that any of us would have said, yeah, we're going to be a better team than Kansas State. Granted, they're not very good, but Arizona's better.
Yeah, and I think this game is probably at least a 2.5 touchdown win if we don't have the booched punt. We don't have that long Kansas State touchdown to open the second half. We don't have the holding penalties in the red zone where Arizona certainly gave up and surrendered what could have been easy touchdowns. So, yeah, I mean, they were in a good spot. There's a lot to clean up, but at the same time, they passed the eye test. Like, they were the better team. They had the better players. Arizona was able to get push on the defensive side and make things really, really hard for Kansas State. There wasn't a whole lot they could do outside of that play that they had there in the second half that made it a 1-score game. Overall, I'm very happy with the defense. I just hope for the sake of what we saw tonight, you can build off that. And, we talked about how far this team is going to go is going to be really dependent on both the defensive line and the offensive line. And the offensive line obviously has some challenges, but at the same time, they did a good job with run blocking and helping Arizona move the ball. But more importantly, that defensive line, they're able to get pressure. And as long as you can do that and not sit back and give Kansas State a lot of time, you're going to beat some teams in the Big 12. I mean, you think about what they did on third down, right? 3 for 13 for Kansas State. I mean, I can't think of the last time, going back at least the last year that Arizona's defense did that on third down. You'd have to go back at least to that 2023 season. So kudos to them. Great job by the defense. All
right, now LJ Wombology, our receivers not getting separation, Noah not making reads, O-line. I've been hoping to see a stronger passing game. Honestly, the receivers dropped. I mean, I'm not going to say Noah was perfect, but the receivers had 5 or 6 drops in this game that they got to catch, that they got to bring.
Yeah, Watley for sure.
Yeah, that they got to bring in. I'm not really that concerned. I'm not really that concerned about it. Listen, Brogan and I were getting into it. The offensive line is a tale of two situations here. The running game, as you said, they've been very, very good. Monty was running, he was killing them, and I think that's going to be the pass blocking has been atrocious though. So again, it's something I don't know if it can get fixed or not, but you look at one side of the coin, it's very good. The other side, it's lackluster. So that's going to be something they got to figure it out. But Monty ran all over them today.
Yeah, and I think going into the season, we knew O-line and D-line were the 2 biggest question marks. Linebacker was, but we got transfers, so we knew we had depth there. The thing with the offensive line is too many holding calls. Obviously, Rhino's back 2 games in, and he's already got like 4 holds and 5 holds in 5 quarters or whatever it is. Right. So he's obviously struggling. If Arizona doesn't shoot itself in the foot 6 times and they win by 2.5 touchdowns, I don't think anybody's complaining about the offensive line in the passing game. Was it great? No. Was it terrible? No. Should we have completed a few more passes? Yes. But if we don't muff a punt, if we don't muff a snap, if we don't have a receiver throwing interceptions, if you don't miss 2 field goals that are makeable, the 61-yarder, we're not going to blame him for. But if you take all of those things out of the picture, the O-line was plenty good enough to win. It's not like Fafita was running for his life, got sacked 6 times and threw 4 picks, and that's why the game was close. So that's where I'm at with the line. Pass blocking, they got to get a lot better. They got to stop holding. Run blocking is an A+. So there's enough there for me to not be mad at the O-line, I guess, is where I would go with it.
All right, now we got a $20 super snap from the great Jerry Reyes. We need to work on penalties, some stickier gloves on special teams, but like what I see, bear the F down, back the A. Exactly. I mean, good vibes all the way around right now. And I think that's something that's obviously very, very impressive about this. Now, Ben, to Brogan's point, the one thing that they got to figure out, and I think some of the O-linemen are, good. You got to figure out something with Rhino though. I can't have a guy that's having, whether he's really committing him or not, I can't have a guy that has 6 holding penalties in 5 quarters. And One of them I know really wasn't a penalty. The other one was clearly a penalty. And then he gets up and looks at the official and starts yelling at him like it wasn't. They got to figure out something to do about Rhino.
Yeah, and when you commit that many penalties, even if it's not, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt there. And these were obvious penalties, guys. I mean, he had his arms wrapped around guys' necks. I mean, there were things that, you're going to see a mile away watching the game, and that can't happen. So you've got to move him out. You've got to move some stuff around. There's got to be something done about that. But again, I mean, we talk about personnel and depth. There's maybe only so much you can do if you're Arizona. And, we've talked about designing plays for Fifita when it comes to the pass game of rolling him out, having him get the ball out quickly. I thought he did a pretty good job of that, right? I mean, there wasn't a lot of backpedaling or dancing around or bad turnovers or anything. I mean, I think Daggy understands that, given what you have to work with on the offensive line, you're going to have to scheme around it. And I think that's really the only choice you have. You would hope some of the woes from Rhino get corrected, but at the same time, if they don't, you're going to have to work around that. And if Arizona can run the ball the way they did today, and look, there were some drop passes. I totally get all that. But for the most part, Fifita was on point with a lot of these intermediate passes, these quick dump offs, and, they'd result in, 10, 15-yard gains because the receiver or whoever was catching the ball was able to get a lot of separation. So again, you have challenges with Rhino and the offensive line, but a good coach and a good offense figures out a way to work around that. And that's what we didn't see last year, right? You didn't see the coaching and the play calling, cater to what you have to work with when it comes to personnel. But this year, completely different. And I think Arizona's going to be able to figure out a way to, continue to figure that out.
All right, Stetcho, $2 super snap. Very much appreciated. Cody, can you bring that back? Or I'll bring it back. Proud of the Cats says K-State sucker, Arizona real. I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest with you. Let's talk about what this K-State win means, because there are some things that I think are good. There's some things that I think I came away from watching that I think we know as well. But let's get a couple reads in here. We got to pay the bills, everybody. Got to pay the bills. What do we got? Talk to me. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, Eris Dental. Now, everybody out there knows I have to go get a dental implant here. Sure. I'm not looking forward to it, but since it's Land the Man with the Master Plan, I am excited about it. We are going to live stream the dental implant as well. They're going to rip it out and they're going to put another tooth in there, like a fake tooth though. But it's only at $19.97. It's called the Championship Package. As all of you know, that was my nickname in high school. But again, I've grown up, and again, they have the real championship package. Now, check her out, though. Look at this woman right here. She has never been more excited to get the championship package. She is excited. We found out that's Land's sister. That's what he's saying, so we got to be respectful of her. So the woman, over her right shoulder, she's envious of the championship package as well. Check it out. Daily urgent care, Monday through Friday, only offers necessary treatment. They're not going to get rid of the the tongue or anything like that. Now, let's see here. Feedback. No, there's a reason. I take care of my teeth. There's a reason, though. I had a root canal when I was 8 on a back tooth, and basically it's all infected and all that crap. So, but no, that's not the everything else. I only have one cavity, so it is what it is. Okay, anyway, check it out. Dental implants at affordable rates. Now, Copol, yummy in my tummy. Now, you might say to yourself, you look at Ben One White, you look at John Brogan, these guys, successful businessmen in the real world. Let's say that you're coming to Tucson and you're like, you know what? I want to take the missus. I want to take the kids out to someplace really nice. They got pickleball. They got all kinds of game. Oh, not pickleball, but they got they got a bunch of stuff there to play with and stuff, and good food. Look at this drink right here. Look at the smoke coming out of this thing. I mean, it looks good. Guys, look at this.
That looks like a drink you would get 3 of at 1 a.m, Mike.
Yeah, no, doesn't it? Yes, it looks really, really good. And look at all that food there as well. I even spot French fries on there as well. They got great Mexican food. And, guys, this is a big boost to my ego as well. Mention Mike Luke for a free dessert. Yes. Very few times in my life have I been cool. This is one of those times. I am very, very excited about it. Check it out. Copal, Tucson's contemporary Mexican food in the Williams Center. It's very, very cool. All right, one more. Welcome to the Rock. Green Valley Decorative Rock. Welcome to the Rock, Sean Corey. 50-plus locally sourced landscaping materials. Brogan, do you live technically in Tucson? You live way on the north side.
Technically in Tucson, yes.
Okay, so here's the deal, though. You go up there, though, they will deliver the rock to you. You don't have to, like, go. They're going to take it to you. Ben White, you live in the mean streets of California. They'll probably still send it to you if you want, but at the same time, you might, I don't know. Yeah, it's probably not great. Either way, check it out. East of Benson, Sierra Vista, west of Miranda, south of Nogales, north of Oracle. Really quick, though, fellas. There's been a scurrilous rumor that is thrown around about Green Valley Decorative Rock for many years now that we've been fighting back against. Do you guys know about this scurrilous rumor?
Tell us more, Michael.
That it's only in Green Valley. That is crap. We must fight against it. You don't take any of that. If you see somebody that says that, you punch them right in the face because it's also in Tucson as well. Green Valley Decorative Rock. Back the rock. Yeah, the static was a little bit weak. But it is just kind of is what it is.
I'm just glad they solved your geography challenges by putting the directions directly on the
no, I know. Like when you're dealing I basically took advantage of being a Make-A-Wish kid for the longest time growing up. So at the same time, though, anything that can help me, I'm going to take. So yes, I'm happy about that. Yes. All right. Now let's talk about Kansas State first. I'm excited about what happened with Arizona. Obviously, we got to talk about Kansas State for Brogan being very mean right there. That was very funny there. I got to give Avery. I've been saying that all week. Avery Johnson. Avery Johnson sucks. I don't know what else to say. Avery Johnson sucks. I know that he was a 5-star kid coming out of high school. He can't throw the ball. It also feels like with him, a little bit of what happened with Khalil Tate, where it's like you're trying to do something you can't do and you're taking away from what you can do, i.e. run the ball. He sucks, guys. Like I said, go ahead.
Yeah, he had 3 reads tonight. It was a quick out, throw it up the sideline, pray, and then wherever Jace Brown is, force it to him.
Operative word,
3
pray.
reads the whole night. Yeah, so it made it easy, I think. Not easy, but it made it easier for Arizona. But I think that's why you saw a lot of blitzing. Was like, look, if you're going to complete 25 or 30 passes, good luck, and you're going to have to beat us that way. But this game, before the season started, this was the game that everybody looked at that said, okay, if Arizona finds a way to win this game, then you're pretty, not guaranteed a bowl, but 6 or 7 wins is definitely in play. If they lose this game, then you're like, okay, maybe it's 4 or 5. So even though Kansas State is maybe less than what we thought, definitely less than what we thought, this was still the measuring stick game where it's like, okay, now Arizona's got momentum. Next week, Iowa State's going to be a tough game, but they average like 212 yards a game. I'm exaggerating, but not much more than that. So I don't think they're going to win, but I think that's going to be a much more competitive game than people thought before the season started.
Exactly. Oliver, we have a little bit of optimism going into that one as well, Mr. Ben White.
We do. And when you look across the rest of the Big 12, you have Oklahoma State, Baylor, Cincinnati, Kansas, Colorado, Houston. Mike, all those teams are very, very beatable at this point.
Well,
there's not one team on that list that you can't lose, that you can't beat.
Exactly. And guys, that's what I keep coming back to. I look at the schedule, and again, they're going to drop games. I mean, well, maybe they won't. I don't know. But they're going to drop some games. But at the same time, you don't look at anybody on the schedule and say, man, you have absolutely no chance of winning that game. And I think that's something that's exciting because in years past, let's be honest here, we looked at it and they're like, loss, whatever the case may be. At least with this year, I think you're kind of like, And keep in mind, too, K-State was very much in it against Iowa State as well. I know K-State's not very good, but take it for what it's worth. They were very much in it against Iowa State when they were playing in one of those I'm not going to call Ireland a cold soup country. It's got more of an infrastructure. That's not really fair. But we did have Big D tonight. That is very true there, Lansing Redford. Oh, we got a 1999 Super Snap. Hold on. Meisner, the great Meisner, says, I promised myself I wouldn't get hyped about football again until Brennan was gone, but damn it, I'm back in. Here's what I keep coming back to, fellas. And again, I've said it a million times, and I keep saying it again, and tell me where I'm wrong. When it came to Kevin Sumlin, I was rooting against Arizona at the end. I wanted him out of there because you just knew that this wasn't going to end well. And last thing I wanted was a 5-win season where we have to go through it again. Plus, he didn't really care. He was way too interested in being at the bar. Brent Brennan wants to do well. And he's a good dude. He wants to work well. There is no reason not to root for Brent Brennan. I mean, guys, because again, he takes it seriously. This isn't a Sumlin situation where you just want to get him out of here. like I said, I thought he was terrible last year, but so far so good this year. So I think there's no reason not to root for him, guys.
I think, yeah, for me, Brennan has admittedly said, like, I spent a good chunk of last year basically recruiting the team, even during the season, right? And they complained about lack of depth and injuries and all the things. And so after a while, it was kind of like, well, okay, let's see. But then I think when he hired Daggy, it was like, okay, he understands that 35-year-old OC is better than 70-year-old offensive coordinator. So that was the step in the right direction. Then they hit the transfer portal. A lot of mid-major-ish type players, but guys who had performed at their schools. And so there was enough to be, to your point, Brennan cares. And then he was preaching a lot, like, now we have depth. Now we have guys. Now we have people at positions to make plays. And, they're 3-0. So it's hard to not root for Brett Brennan because he is a good guy. He wants to win. He cares about Arizona. And so far, all the things he preached about last year and leading into this season have sort of been true. So I think it's time to trust him and get behind him. And
again, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, that is what it is at the end of the day, but there's not a reason not to root for him. I guess that's where I'm at, Ben One White.
Yeah, I mean, look, 1 year is 1 year. And like Brogan said, with the nature of what college football is, and he was hired so late and you had to keep everybody together. And, people forget, well, okay, you got to keep the players together. You're doing all that, but it's even harder to get a coaching staff at that point so late in the year. And obviously you didn't bring in the right guys. You corrected that immediately. You brought in a real offensive coordinator. You brought in a real defensive coordinator. You and I know personally have no issue with the staff, maybe outside of the offensive line coach, which we could maybe get into another time. But at the same time, I mean, they're doing everything correct. I mean, the offense looks good. Fafita looks a lot better. There were a lot of people last year questioning, maybe is Noah Fafita just not that good, just given the regression and the challenges they've had. But I mean, you can clearly see the difference night and day. And, we even talked about that in the Hawaii game. Granted, Hawaii's not a very good football team. Weber State is basically Arizona's scout team, maybe worse. But I mean, you just watch right away and you know that there's a clear difference. They're on a good path. They're in a conference that has a lot of teams that, we talk about teams being at the top and bottom, that 3 to 10 range team really isn't all that different. So you look ahead and you look at the schedule, assuming Arizona can stay healthy and continue to do what they do. I don't see how they cannot find a way to win, 6-7 games if this keeps up. But again, like, so far, so good.
All right, now, Luke Ornelas says, we would have killed for this win last year. Yes, we would have. It wouldn't have even mattered. And people got to remember this, too. If you're trying to say that K-State sucks, okay, fair enough. Arizona lost 56-7 last year to a crappy UCF team with a fourth-string quarterback. So that's improvement. And so, again, $4.99 Super Snap. Very, very good point there, Mr. Luke Ornelas. All right, hold on. How do I scroll down here? Cody, what's the last one here? TJ Van Martyr, the great TJ Van Martyr. All right. Danny G should have been DC last season. Talent, not much better, but better scheming and more energy. There's a ton of energy. That's what this comes down to. Brogan, you made the point too as well, where you're like, okay, they're not sitting back and it's 3rd and 10. You're not rushing 3 and dropping 8 and saying, really hope that they just don't complete the ball or, don't complete the pass. They're actually making things happen. And if you watch Kansas State, especially, and how many times last year did you see a receiver getting alligator arms because they knew they were probably about to get hit by the U of A? This year they're getting alligator arms. Back the alligator arms.
Well, and heading into the season, the strength of the defense was always going to be the secondary. Yeah. Right. Safeties are awesome. Dalton Johnson, Genesis is amazing. He made about 74 plays.
Can he be a first-round pick?
No, I know this, but he's a top 2 or 3 round pick for sure. I don't think he's a first rounder though. I don't think he'll get enough hype and attention to warrant that. Like, he hasn't had that momentum yet, but he's definitely going to be picked in the first couple rounds for sure.
Right. He's an NFL player.
Yeah. No doubt. But the strength was the secondary. So what I like to see is, great, if our secondary is our strength, then pressure, and trust your secondary to make plays, which is what we got. Last year, secondary was still sort of our strength, but it was no pressure. And so they had to try to cover, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. It doesn't work that way. If your strength's your D line, maybe it works. But so it's good to see new D coordinator understands his personnel and how to attack to put him in the best chance to be successful. And what you got is a team that's barely giving up touchdowns, which is awesome.
Ben.
Yeah, and again, like if you keep everybody intact, like I don't see any reason why it's not going to continue. Look, there are teams in the Big 12 that clearly have better offenses than Kansas State, and Arizona's going to have to go up against them. But at the same time, I think where it's a little bit different, you have the secondary, the pass rush. I don't know if it's going to be what it is today all the time, but I think more importantly, you trust your offense to score points, right? I mean, this is a team that can move the ball and put points up on the board. Whereas last year, every single play, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And when that happens, what does that do? That puts pressure on the defense. It puts so much pressure. And when you have injuries and challenges at your personnel spots anyway, it's a recipe for disaster. Whereas this year, you have that margin, you have both sides of the ball clicking. And I'm not saying Arizona's going to win the Big 12 or anything like that, but they're certainly going to be competitive in this league if they can play the way they did today.
Yeah. So that's a very big point. Okay. Now let's see here. We got We got Brian Gregston. If I said you had a beautiful Monty, would you hold it against me? Monty was awesome though. I mean, he ran hard. He ran quick. I got to give Alonzo Carter a lot of credit here. There's certain guys on this coaching staff where, kind of in the past, you're kind of like, whatever. This running back room's good. You're without your starting guy in Kendrick Risano. Quincy Craig's banged up. You got Mahdi in there. They're awesome. I mean, they're awesome, man. They're absolutely great.
Well, and I think Daggy has a good understanding of the limitations of the offensive line. So you're seeing Fafita make a bunch of quick reads, quick throws, a little bit of RPO stuff like that. He's not holding the ball like last year. We were holding the ball for 3 seconds on runs and 6 seconds on passes, but he knows that his O-line can run block. And so the fact that they went out and got depth at the running back, because if Risano goes down and we don't have Mahdi, then you're relying on a freshman because Craig's backed up. So the depth in the running back room definitely is paying dividends. Their O-line is awesome, And so when you think about a game like Iowa State, how do you beat teams that are better? Run the ball well, keep them off the field a little bit, score some points. So if Arizona can run the ball like they did today against Kansas State, which I don't know why Iowa State's going to be significantly bigger, better than Kansas State against the run, I kind of like where Arizona's going.
I like it as well. And again, we're talking about Kansas State. Again, I know Kansas State isn't very good, but we got to talk about this, guys. Iowa State and Kansas State were locked in a first game of the season, say what you want, but they were locked in a battle right there. So, I mean, Arizona's not going into Iowa. Now, listen, they're probably not going to win. I'll still pick Arizona, but at the same time, like they're also not, you're going to be locked in a game though, where Arizona's not going in there because Iowa State, I watched Iowa State against Iowa. I've lost. That's some time in my life I can't ever get back. But
that was a big noon kickoff game too. What a joke. My goodness.
That was for the afternoon nappers is what that was for.
Oh, my God. I love the afternoon nap. It helped me out a lot. But, Ben, we watched that game. Iowa State, Iowa, whatever. Arizona's a live dog in that game. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, I mean, Iowa had, under like 220 yards of total offense in that game. So, again, it's nothing that should fear Arizona when it comes to facing, right? I mean, if Arizona is going to run the ball the way they did today, and at least Fafita is going to be a lethal enough threat with the passing game, they're going to be able to stretch the field and make some big plays. Third and long, you want to take a big shot with play action or RPO on second down, something like that. It's going to help stretch the field and get you ahead, when you need to. Whereas a team like Iowa State, haven't seen much of that outside of their blowout win. The Kansas State game week 1, I mean, it was garbage in terms of what you saw offensively. And then against Iowa, it was tough as well. I mean, Iowa has a good defense. I'll give them that. They knew how to slow that game down. But yeah, I mean, I think Arizona is in a good spot. We talked about earlier in the show and even before the season that if Arizona can find a way to score, at least 21 points per game, they're going to be in a lot of these games. So it's not something I'm too terribly concerned about at this point. And I would imagine that Arizona is going to find a way to be in a lot of these games just because they can move the ball, continue to run it and have a good balance between run and throwing.
Right. Yes, exactly. All right. We got some more super snaps here. Stud Joe, Ben One White, still looking for an explanation regarding the Seattle phone call. Ben claims he didn't make it. We're going to take his word for it, even though I don't believe it. But Ben says he didn't make it. So that is what it is. Okay. Now Oh man, I go back there. There's 127 remarks. So Avery Johnson, 7 carries for minus 16 yards. What a contrast from last year. I don't understand. Well, let's get a couple reads in here, and then I want to get to that because I don't understand why coaches and players go away from what makes them good. It makes no sense to me. But first, look at this apparel right here. Everybody out there, AZ12 Prep. Brogan, you got kids that are going to be entering into high school. AZ12 Prep's going to be opening up about that time. All we care about is getting them into college. We do not care. We will cheat. We will do anything possible, and we're going to hire We'll hire like Wilbur's Wildcat to be like the coach or something. But, all right. So either way, check it out. AZ12 Prep, boosters, recruits, all of that stuff. Get in there and you will like it. By the way, Joseph, you look really stupid right now because you were literally, Joseph spent all week saying that he doesn't like Ishmael Mahdi and he has no clue why Ishmael Mahdi is on the field. Great call there, Joseph. Great call. Is it raining outside? The hell? I think it's raining outside. Okay. Either way, now let's get to the real reads. Come on. All right. Yeah, Baggins. All right, back to back. Use code AZ12 for 15% off. Brogan, have you been to Baggins lately?
Yeah, in the last week and a half, maybe.
Did you use code AZ12? Did you tell Jessica to use AZ12?
We sure did.
All right, now check it out there again. Get the bag. Get the bag. Now so anyway, join our VIP text club in there as well. All food made in-house daily. Every sandwich comes with a chocolate chip cookie. All food made in-house daily, locally owned and operated. 12 Arizona locations. All right, yeah, Baggins, get the bag. Okay. Now, Mooney, the Mooney team, Zach Mooney with Nova Home Loans. Now, John Brogan, how long have you known Zach Mooney?
15 to 20 years, maybe.
Yes. All right. Yeah. Zach Mooney's a good guy. It's not just me saying that, correct?
Yeah. Zach's awesome.
Zach's an awesome dude. And guess what? Zach's very successful. He's like John Brogan. He's like one of these guys that made his entry and then he climbed up the ladder. And that Nova building is like the biggest building in the city or one of them. It's absolutely huge. Take your shot with the Mooney team. Show me the Mooney. And again, scan this QR code right here. Proudly supports Tucson basketball. And I'm telling you what, with some of the talent in Tucson right now, there's not many people that are going to be good enough to do that because I couldn't do it. It would bore me senseless. But Zach's a much better person than me. NovaACLoans.com, 520-230-5599. Okay, now, what else do we got?
Hey, real quick. Are you doing another read or are you done with the read?
No, we're good. What do you got?
All right. Shelby mentioned that Jason picked Mahdi to be his sleeper of the game, but he gets no credit for picking K-State. He gets no credit for anything. He picked K-State.
I was just going to say that. I was going to say he picked K-State to win the game, so he gets no credit for any of that other stuff. If he had picked Arizona, then, well.
And William Brad Allison, I picked Arizona 2 weeks ago to win this game.
Exactly. Shear was the only one that didn't pick it, so no credit. All right, TJ Wilmore, the great TJ Wilmore. Thanks for checking me in the DMs, by the way, Terrence. You're the man. Terrence, he's also got one of the best young girls basketball players in the entire city, so props on that. All right, that defense was hitting and playing hard. If you gave K-State the ball 10 times at the 25, they wouldn't have scored again. The last drive never felt like it had a chance. That is true. It felt like Arizona was bigger, faster, and basically knew exactly where, K-State was going to be.
Yeah, it another one of those things. You put pressure on Avery Johnson. The only real kind of positive play he had was that scramble for 8 yards, but he looked like he gets back in the pocket, he looks one place and just wings it another place 100 miles an hour. And good luck, It was bad.
Yeah, all right. Ben One White?
Yeah, and that was the whole game. The only thing he could do was try to scramble around. That didn't do anything, or he would just throw a ball up to Chase Brown and kind of pray. Some of those balls on the outside were thrown out of bounds. I think there was one play too where it was one of the rare plays where Arizona didn't get home, and he had 9 seconds, and he's just kind of standing there looking around, and there was at least 2 K-State receivers open, and he just couldn't get the ball to him. So he played pretty bad. Arizona was all over the place, and it puts you at ease, right? When you kind of saw those mishaps in the second half, whether it was the block punt or Arizona not going for it, punting the ball away, you kind of thought, oh boy, Kansas State might have one chance here to make it a touchdown game, and they weren't able to do that just because you were confident that Arizona's defense was going to be able to force a 3 and out, which is something I haven't been able to say in a long time.
You haven't been able to say it in a long time, and you know what? That is more than fine. Now I got to go up there a little bit. Hold on, I think there was a comment I wanted to get to here. Let's see here. Where is this? Hold on. Oh, by the way, real quick, how bad is UCLA? Oh, Big 12 Bobby, you're the most successful person in this chat, or one of them. You didn't pick Arizona, and I will forever hold that against you. So this is funny, Shelby coming in here, and I don't blame you. Any woman's going to do that for her husband, trying to come in here and give sheer credit, and everyone's like, yeah, nice try with all that crap. Nice try. You're being a good wife there, but he gets no credit on that. Sorry. Okay, now looking around the I was going to say, oh, hold on. Let me look at my notes here. I actually had notes here for a second, but now I don't know. Who cares? Nobody cares. All right. So now looking ahead, then you got Iowa State, and then you got a bunch of games that are very, very winnable here. I mean, it's time to maybe recalibrate for a few minutes here, guys. What are realistic expectations now? Now that we're 3-0 on the season, you got Iowa State. Hey, Cody, do you still have that schedule? Can you pull that up for us?
Yeah, give me a sec.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I think 12-0 is the realistic expectation.
I mean, yeah,
I was going to say Rose Bowl. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
bro. If you don't win the first three, all right.
That's a really good point. But again, Arizona? Let me ask you this, Brogan. You're an obsessive gambler. How much? What will the spread be for Arizona against Iowa State?
First road game, real test, veteran QB, 7.5, 8.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's about a touchdown spread, something like that. Yes, I would think I would think that's about. I think that's about it. Yes,
but if you go on the road against a ranked team and you're less than a 10-point dog,
you got a shot.
Then you've got a shot to win. If you're like 2 or 3 point dogs, you're probably winning. So the line, if the line is 2, 3, 4, Arizona's winning the game. If the line is 7, 8, 9, they've got a good chance. They got a chance to win, but probably not. If it's over 10. Unless you're UCLA, you should.
Yeah, man, how crappy are they, man? And hey, is there anything funnier than that Nico, whatever his name is, like the going from Tennessee, which is like a top 20 program, getting paid, taking a pay cut to go back to go to UCLA, to where nobody is watching you, man. Sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side.
Then he went from being a first-round pick in most mock drafts. And then all of a sudden, he's 0-3 at UCLA, got half the money he was supposed to get, and has to be miserable.
Sometimes it's not always better on the other side. All right, now let's look at this. So we got Iowa State. Let's just, for sake of, hold on. Let's see here. Yeah, Amort. We don't need to. We can stay underdogs. Yeah, Amort's an awesome name. All right. By the way, Brogan, real quick, since you're on here and you're LDS, I've had a number of people ask me, they don't believe me, that I'm not LDS. Can you confirm that I am not LDS?
Yeah, confirm.
Okay. Yes. All right. Yeah. So everybody out there, there's like 4 or 5 people that keep, because I stick up for BYU and I like BYU fans. Joseph's, I think, one of them. But no, I'm not LDS. I just like their fan base and I think they're pretty cool. All right. That's all. Okay. So let's assume then that we lose to Iowa State. Again, we could easily win that game. I'm just saying, because on this show, we try to be middle of the road, even though we're really not. Okay. So either way, Oklahoma State's awful. Oklahoma State is a terrible football team. Arizona should beat the crap out of Oklahoma State. I don't care where it's being played, guys. You would agree?
I would agree.
Yeah, and it's a home game. Arizona's going to be a 2-touchdown favorite in that game.
Yeah.
All right. So let's say Arizona's 4-1 at that point. Okay. So then you got 2 more games. Then you got BYU and you got Houston. Let's just say, for sake of argument, that Arizona splits those. Fair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you got 5-2 at that point. Colorado sucks. I think Arizona beats Colorado. Colorado's awful. I think so. Then Arizona's 6-2 at that point with 4 games left. If you're 6-2 with 4 games left, you got Kansas, you got Cincinnati, you got Baylor, you got ASU. I just want to go 2-2 in those games. 8-4 would be an amazing season.
Yeah,
well, and you go 8-4. No, go Ben.
Yeah, you go 8-4, and it's very doable, right? I mean, I'm going to chalk Kansas off to a loss, but then you could easily win those next 3 to end the year.
Yeah, no, for sure. That was, yeah. So 8-4, man. Hey, is Brent Brennan? I was going to say, does Tommy Lloyd's seat get a little hotter than at that point with all the success that Brent Brennan's having? I'm just
that
saying.
tweet was good. Yeah.
Every now and then I say something funny and it makes me laugh.
Well,
go ahead, brother.
If you look at Arizona's schedule, the teams that you look at and be like, okay, that's a team they could lose to. It's Baylor, it's Kansas, it's BYU. All three of those are home games. And so the schedule is set up perfect, and ASU obviously, but that's a rivalry game, so anything happens in those games.
Right.
But the schedule sets up perfectly for them to win 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
It like they're going to have some real clunkers to not win 7 or 8 because they get the teams they should beat on the road and they get the teams that are going to be the tougher games at home. You can't ask for a much more favorable schedule than that.
You really can. And all these other teams, too, are beatable. Like ASU, I think ASU is going to turn out to be better than they've shown so far. But let's be honest, ASU has not looked good. I mean, they just haven't. Now, I know the ASU fans were saying, well, if you take out the first half against Mississippi State and then you erase 8 plays in the second half, they actually won. That's not how it works.
Yeah, and you talk about Arizona having sloppy penalties. My goodness, when you look at them and then their effort at times, so they've had issues for sure.
Yeah, and then they got the Sawyer Robertson or Anderson, whatever his name is, for Baylor. Arizona can beat Baylor as well. I'm just saying that I look at this schedule and I'm like, well, I think it's pretty navigatable. Now, Big 12 championship game, here we come, my friends. Yes, we have high expectations in this neck of the woods. The only thing that sucks about this game, is that it doesn't count as a conference game. That's the only part about this game that sucks. That would be really nice to have that feather already in the back of the cap.
Yeah, but if you look at the schedule, Oklahoma State, Houston, Cincinnati, Colorado, it's going to be hard for Arizona to not be above 500 in the Big 12 at a minimum.
Right. I would agree. Yeah, I mean, that's something I would say. All right, now, bowl bound. Mike is really hoping they go to the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Mike's favorite city. All right, now, there's a guy that said he'll never listen to the show again because I was making fun of El Paso. I am not putting down the people of El Paso. I need to be very clear about this. Guys, would you ever want to live in El Paso? Not the people. It has nothing to do with the people. Brogan, Ben White, would you ever want to live in El Paso?
I don't know, Mike. Asked Paul Sakala.
Well, Paul's there for different reasons. Come on, you know why Paul's there. Paul's not there because, go ahead.
If I'm making a list of places to move, El Paso's not in my top 100.
It's not in my top 200. Huh? Yes,
but you've almost certainly you've all but guaranteed that Arizona's playing a bowl game in El Paso.
Yeah, I know I have.
Fate has spoken here. Done.
And I got to give a little bit more credit to El Paso as well for the people that say I have no soul. I would rather live in El Paso than Yuma. Boom, I said it.
Oh yeah,
KJ Lewis.
I mean,
I'd rather live in El Paso than Buffalo, New York, freezing your butt off, can't go outside. I mean, there are worse options, but
right, yes, exactly.
I wouldn't live there voluntarily. No.
Okay, so that's all. That's all we're at with that one. So again, sorry. Nothing wrong with the people of El Paso, but El Paso. Okay. Now, all right. So now let's get back. Ben, you got people in here saying that you're hot, man. This is awesome, dude. Ben White. Ben is an eligible bachelor for all the ladies, or I don't know who anybody out there. Ben, you're an eligible bachelor. This is true. DM Ben with your dating proposals. We could have a giveaway, a date with Ben. That'd be awesome. Yeah. And we could say, it's called
turn this podcast into the dating show.
Yeah, we could turn it into it. We just call it Bend Over. And that's what happens though with the date with Ben White. Okay. Dennis Walsh. All right, let's talk about Dennis Walsh here for a minute here. The man, Dennis Walsh, everybody out there. You want to hear, I don't know if you've heard this before, Brogan. Dennis Walsh has the most humble, subtle brag that I have ever come across. And he literally said, and a lot of people in here have heard this, he said, because he has a jet and he flies around like cool people and stuff. And he goes, I was flying Bert around one time. Bert. He said, and he just said it so casually, nonchalantly. I was flying Bert around. Oh, like one of the richest people in Arizona. Bert. Yes. And I'll never let him go. But Dennis Walsh is obsessed with the lay. He hates the lay. He thinks that, Arizona's 3-0 in no lay games. Brogan, Ben One White, what do you guys think about the lay? This is the great Dennis Walsh's obsession that he will not let go. I don't care about the lay. It means nothing to me. You can wear 80 lays for all I care.
Well, somebody in the comments said, I wonder if Brennan will get laid tonight after the win. So that's definitely the laid comment for the win. But my thing is, it was cool because he was respecting the culture and all of those things.
Can we lay this to bed? Yes.
Game or 2 or 3.
Can we lay this to bed?
But 12 games in a row when the program is kind of upside down. So I'm glad he's moved on from it this year, and hopefully it stays.
What do you think's more important? What do you think's more important, guys? So he's 3-0 in lay because there's two undefeated scenarios right here. Arizona is now 3-0 in no lay games. Arizona is also 3-0 in land acknowledgement games. What is more important? What is more important to Arizona's success?
I would say winning football games, wearing a lay. It's real tough, but I'll go with winning football games. How about that?
Well, right, but but what's more important to Arizona's success? Because they're undefeated in both land acknowledgement or no lay.
Oh, land acknowledgement for sure. Not even close.
I think that Arizona at this stage, Arizona should turn every game into a land acknowledgement game until they lose.
Agreed.
Or a no lay game until they lose.
A no lay game. Yeah,
the problem with the lay game is eventually you run into somebody you can't beat,
Yeah,
so
right, exactly.
Not have that be a consideration at this point.
Yes, exactly. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Now, Sescob 123. Sorry if I mangled that. Well, it's a username. Who cares? If that is your real name, I do apologize. But Brennan seems much more serious without the lay and smiling all the time. We want to see him serious. Let me ask you guys this, because I'm going to do a Dennis Walsh here. I'm generally at the game in the press box. But watching on TV like the peasants do, does he look more in control? Does he look a little less, guys, where's the apple juice and the orange slices for after the game? What do you guys detect from the big screen?
I enjoy personally when things, not necessarily when things go wrong for Arizona, but when things do go wrong for Arizona, he lays into them, man. I mean, he
lays into them. Get it?
Yes, exactly. He gets in the huddle. He gets in there during the timeouts, and it's a lot more animated than he was last year. So that's what I like about it.
Interesting. Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead there, John Brogan.
I think he's definitely more comfortable this year. I don't know that I can really take him like Nick Saban serious.
I know.
But he's definitely more comfortable for sure. You can tell he's got his feet under him now, and he's not afraid to yell at somebody if he has to, and he's not looking like a deer in the headlights on the sidelines this year.
Yes. Back to the A-Ray, if you're listening, I have a Paul Sakala story as well. It's somewhat along the same lines, but we love Paul Sakala. Paul Sakala is a really, really, really good guy. Paul Sakala is one of those guys that just wants to have fun in life. And I'm always going to respect somebody like that. He likes to have fun in life. Okay. Now, let's get a few reads in here, and then let's talk about the special teams, because that bothers me a little bit. All right, now, but first, Bridge Tech Communications, our guy Tony. Now, you might be like, what do you mean I'm not politically motivated? I haven't brought up anything with politics.
Land acknowledgement day is politics now?
That's not politics, dude. That has nothing to do with politics. It makes me laugh. So that's all. Okay, but either way, Bridge Tech Communications. Now, you might be like Dennis Walsh, and he's having to work out with Stoney's kids outside, and he's got this big bucket of water that he's probably having to take around, because like the gym that he's at doesn't really have anything to do with anything. Bridge Tech Communications, that gym is not going through Bridge Tech Communications. There's no chance. Now, guys, you guys are both in sales. You guys are both in business. 750% average ROI, guys. In your line of business, is it good if you go to your boss and say, "Hey, I'm going to have a 750% average ROI"? Is that good? Will they be okay with that or no?
Yeah, I could get funding for any project that has that ROI.
What about you, Ben White? What about if you go up to the corporate folks at AT&T and say, "Hey, guys, I can get a 750% average ROI"? Are they probably going to sign it?
Considering AT&T is looking for like a 50%, I would think so. Yes.
Okay. So 750. Yeah. That's why you go through Bridge Tech Communications. Bridge Tech Communications. Check it out. Again, they'll help you out. We love Tony. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. All right. All right, there's a lot of idiots out there that don't have air conditioning. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how they live without air conditioning. It makes no sense to me. But ComfortX HVAC is here. They are so good that if your air conditioning is probably 3 or 4 years old, I would go ahead and I would break my air conditioning to be able to get basically something in there as well, because ComfortX HVAC is going to be much, much better about it. Residential and commercial HVAC expertise at affordable rates. Yeah, I'm never passive aggressive. I'm very aggressive, to be honest with you. Okay, now, small business with big savings. Check it out. ComfortX HVAC. Okay. All right, real quick, Jerry. You actually have this completely wrong. Land acknowledgement recognizes indigenous people who rightfully own the land and lived here first. Yes, you are being sarcastic. I am making fun of the white people that came up with the land acknowledgement idea. I believe that we should give Native Americans a lot more than they have. It's the exact opposite of what you think. I do not, I think I am not a fan of just hollow, hey, I stole your stuff, so guess what? I'm just going to say that I stole it and I'm going to move on. It's the exact opposite of what you think that I am saying. So there's that. Okay, so either way. Now, RJ's Frozen Cactus. Speaking of which, it's not that deep, bro. Speaking of which, with RJ's Frozen Cactus, Dennis Walsh and his jet. This parking lot is massive. This is a huge parking lot. It is one of the biggest It is one of the biggest parking lots you will ever see. Look at this starch. Go get starched in RJ's Frozen Cactus with this. It looks good. You got a beer in the background as well. Again, a huge parking lot. Okay.
Can I get my beer and then go take it and enjoy it in the parking lot? Is that allowed?
You can enjoy it in the parking lot. Heck, they might as well turn
probably
this
not.
They might as well. Yeah, I don't know if you can do that. They might as well turn this thing into like one of those Deanza drive-ins or something.
Is that where Dennis lands his jet, that parking lot?
Yeah, right. Yes, that's exactly what it is. 100 plus craft beers, $2 deals, pizza, wings, tacos, burgers, and more. So again, check it out. Now, you will thank me later. Home of the AZ12 watch parties. We're gonna have some more of those coming up here shortly. RJ's Frozen Cactus, red hot beer, ice cold sports. Check it out. RJ's Frozen Cactus. Okay. Now, all right. Now, let's see what else do we got. Okay. All right. Special teams. What do we do about Salgado Medina? I'm just gonna say this. With Salgado Medina, I watched somebody send me the kicks don't inspire a ton of confidence right now. Arizona's going to be playing in close games. Yeah, you got to get them right. But did I say red hot beer, ice cold sports, or did I say it right? Did I say ice cold beer, red hot sports, or red hot sports?
You said it wrong.
I think you said red hot beer. Yeah.
All right.
Same thing.
Yeah, man, the beer's so good that it's hot. That's why. Yeah, it's hot. It's sexy. That's all. Okay, so. That's kind of where I'm at with that. Guys, what do you think about the special teams and the punting? No. Okay, go ahead.
You know, what I think is interesting is, I mean, we were debating this, whether we kick up 46-yard field goal. Here's what I think is all of his kicks, he kicks a natural draw. I don't know why they didn't.
That's when you know you're a good golfer, when you refer to it as a natural draw. Right, that's right. Awesome.
But I don't know why they didn't put the ball on the right hash, because all of his kicks from the left hash were going left, right? So, you know, it's one of those things where you can't not kick. Like, points are too valuable to not kick. I get circumstances where it's going to dictate you go for it, right? You got 4th and 1 at the 10. Had they been 4th at 1 or 2, they go for it. It's 4th and 6 or 7, they don't go for it. But until it costs you a game, I think you have to keep tempting fate with it and see what happens.
Yes. Yeah, and somebody already put it in the comment, but like, how spoiled were we? I mean, we had an NFL kicker here, a guy that you could rely on.
A what kicker?
An NFL kicker. In fact, the NFL kicker of the Baltimore Ravens.
And what is it? I'm not familiar with the NFL.
MNFL kicker.
Oh, come on, Ben.
Don't feed into that one, Brogan. The NBA stuff is fine. I can't do the NFL.
You know what's funny? I want to ask you guys this real quick. A lot of people have said that they're like, okay, I'm okay with the MNBA. But most people say I will not engage the MNFL. What is wrong? Why is that a bridge that is too far, fellas? What is about it?
Because there is not a women's National Football League.
And there never will be.
And there never will be.
Actually, I think there is a women's football league. Actually, well, maybe there's not. I don't know. All right. Either way, I've had a lot of people that said that is the line in the sand. I will not say MNFL. I'll say MNBA. Well, they're both equally stupid, on my opinion. So
yeah.
Either way.
Well, and if you get just my issue isn't so much the field goals. We missed 2, whatever.
Yeah.
My issue is you muffed a punt because you were blocking your guy, no awareness, no call, whatever the case is. You run into your own punt return and we fumble the ball. Then you fumble a snap on a punt and give Kansas State the ball in the 10-yard line, basically a free touchdown. So like special teams as a whole is a problem.
Right.
I can handle missed field goals. What I can't handle is all the other stuff that limits possessions and gives other teams easy opportunities to score. So again, we're going to miss field goals. That's part of the game. But they got to clean up all the other stuff first before I can really worry about field goals.
Yes. I would agree with that. Ben White?
Yeah, I mean, you can't run into your own guy on a punt and give the ball right back to Kansas State when they're in scoring range at that point. You can't muff that punt, and you do the same thing. And if you're playing a better team, that's an easy 14 points right there that your special teams gave up. So to Brogan's point, you don't love the kicking, especially that first attempt. I mean, that was one of the worst field goals I've ever seen. I think it was like a 35-yard.
Was it that bad on? What's funny? This is where sitting in the press box sucks, because you could just see the distance. You can't see. Was it that far? Because you guys both messaged and you're like, "Holy crap, that wasn't even." That's close.
Like a total fat finger playing Madden. Like I'm not even paying attention type field goal. Like,
sheer text was it close, and I was like, "No, it was 10 yards left." But it was bad. It never it never was close to even being close to the goalpost.
All right, so it was that bad thing, because you guys both responded back immediately. You're like, no, it wasn't even close. So yes, okay. Yep. I agree with it. It's the things that I can deal with some of the crap, like missed field goals. That's part of the game. I get it. But at the same time, I can't have the muffed punts where we have Chris Hunter, like pushing Kansas State guys into I can't have any of that. I can't have you dropping the ball when you're about to punt it. Things like that that was crazy. Things like that are the things that I can't deal with, fellas, because that doesn't take any mental smarts or anything like that. It's not like it's a high pressurized situation. Just do the basics. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, and in a game like today, where the game was close, right, a lot closer than it should have been, those are the differences between wins and losses. Usually they win, right, but usually you lose those games. So Arizona's margin for error is already small enough because, it's the second year under Brennan and all those things. So you got to nail the small stuff in order to give yourself the best chance to win.
Are we at the stage now with Arizona football where – let me ask you this. At what stage what do you guys need to see because with Arizona football, we're always just like, we're going to suck. Here we go. And, you kind of saw that. And what do you guys need to see this season to where you're like, you know what? I got confidence in this team. Are you at that point? What do you guys need to see to be like, you know what? I'm starting to trust this team. Because I'm not there yet. I'm happy with where we're at, but I'm definitely not to the point where I trust it.
I'm not there yet, but I'm also almost to the point after watching Kansas State now for the last few weeks, thinking this might actually end up being one of the worser teams in the conference.
One of the worser teams? Is that a word?
Worst teams in the conference.
Yeah, much better.
So Arizona did a lot of good things. They did a lot of bad things like what we just talked about. But I think for me, it has to get to a point where we're not sitting there in the second half after building a lead or looking good and think to ourselves, okay, well, how's Arizona going to screw it up today? Is it going to be missed field goals? Is it going to be a muffed punt? Is it going to be a fumble, a turnover? As long as we're not having that conversation, I think they'll be fine. We talked about the special teams. There were some instances there in the fourth quarter where I think you had to waste like a timeout or two. Don't love that, especially if you're trying to be aggressive and go for it on, third or fourth down, right? I think there were times where the offense had a lot of tempo. They were doing good, but then they slowed down for whatever reason. There were a couple instances where Arizona was going to go for it on fourth and short. And it's like, okay, guys, you've been moving the ball pretty consistently and at a good tempo. Snap the ball, catch Kansas State off guard. Don't just sit there and try to draw them offside. So again, I mean, we're nitpicking, but in the grand scheme of things, Arizona played very well. But against Iowa State, if you make those kind of mistakes that they did tonight, they're not winning that game. Not even close.
Wow. All right. Ben One White laying down the gauntlet, laying down the Ben One White talk right there. What say you, Brogan?
For me, if they beat Iowa State, game on, right? That's
Dude,
the first
I will
thing,
be
right?
so
That's Captain Obvious. But if Iowa State's a competitive game and then they come out and smack Oklahoma State, then I'm good. Then we know this team is legit. Again, they're not going to run the table, but what can't happen is we lose to Iowa State and then we come lay an egg against Oklahoma State. That would be, we've seen that movie like 4 or 5 times in the last 10 years from Arizona football. So I don't necessarily need to see them beat Iowa State. If they do, obviously that's a game changer. But if they don't, but they smack Oklahoma State, then it's like, okay, this team is now, capable of winning the 7 or 8 games we talked about.
By the way, Adam Parker, I very much like your idea. That's a very, very good idea I like there. So, yeah, now, Warden Xenon. That's a great name. I wonder if that's his real – do you think there's any chance that's his real name, Warden Xenon? Because that's an amazing name. I like that name a lot. But, let me go back up there. This is, to me, also going to the margin for error, which I didn't necessarily know that we had in this game. To have 3 missed field goals, a punt block, and a punt return flub and still win is great. No shot and all that happens every game. I mean, guys, I don't care if Kansas State sucks. Those are 5. Listen, that's 9 points. I'm not going to count the 61-yard field goal, but the other ones you should have probably made. Then you got the blocked punt, which results obviously in 7 points. So let's just say there's 13 points right there. And then you've got the, let's see here. And the punt return flub, which gave up another one. So there's 19 points right there that Arizona just basically, and they still won the game.
Yep.
I mean, it's good stuff.
So here's something you need to take into consideration from the defensive standpoint. All of Kansas State's points came either when they got incredible field position or when they had the one big play. The first field goal was off the muff punt. The second, then they had the 75-yard touchdown run, and then the other touchdown was after the blocked punt. Other than that, they didn't move the ball at all.
They really didn't. And when they showed Anderson's stat line, it was like, 9 of 30 for 88 yards or something? Like, it wasn't good.
Well, they had 193 yards, 75 on the touchdown run, 31 on kind of the seam route that they had in the game. So if you take those 2 plays away, they had like 90 yards of offense for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So first half was only like 44 total yards just in the first half.
Is this a team that can beat is this a team that can win with its defense, that can win kind of the slogs, when you're in those cold soup countries and like the car tire gets stuck in the road and you got to rely on the defense? Can Arizona win games that way, like consistently?
I think BYU is going to be the first real test of that because they've got a little bit of explosiveness on offense. Iowa State, that game's going to be, 20-13, 20-17, whatever it is. Yeah. Oklahoma State's going to be a blowout. But when you look at the offenses in the Pac-12, what offense that we're going to play is going to light up the scoreboard? BYU might be the best offense they got left. So I think their defense is going to be the reason they win most of their games. I think Fafita can win them games if their offensive line gets fixed. But I don't know who the explosive offense is outside of BYU in the Big 12. Utah, but we don't play them.
Ben, they've been asked, because everybody knows that Ben One White is in a tight end aficionado. Ben One White, Tyler Powell's out, Sam Olsen was in. What do you think about the tight ends right there? And, what you're evaluating? What do you think?
Well, that Sam Olsen bounced back and looked pretty good. I'd like to see them used more in the red zone. I think Arizona has a lot to clean up there. The penalties are obviously a big reason why, but tonight, with Watley and Mahdi doing what they did, I didn't really see a reason to break that rhythm. So I think it'll be, one of those seasons where every single week you don't know quite what kind of guys are going to stand out on offense, but, whoever's feeling it, the run game, I think Watley's going to be consistent. But when it comes to, or Mahdi, excuse me, but when it comes to the pass game, I don't know, man. I mean, it could be Hunter, it could be Wysong. It's going to be different guys every single night. But yeah, I mean, to Brogan's point, like this isn't the Pac-12 of 2 years ago where every even decent team is, putting up 25 points per game, no problem. This conference is very different this year. And if Arizona's defense plays this way, Their offense obviously has to be competent and move the ball and do some things, but they also don't have to score, 4 or 5 touchdowns a game to win these games if your defense can play well and make some stops and force some turnovers. So I think they're in a pretty good spot. Like, there's no team on the schedule, maybe outside of BYU, which is even a stretch at this point to say, where you think, oh goodness, they're going to score so many points that Arizona's just not going to be able to keep up.
Do we play
it's not
Utah
that
this
league
year?
anymore.
Do we
No,
play
we
Utah?
don't.
Good.
So
And
it's
we
not
don't
that
play-
league.
And we don't play Texas Tech. Those are the 2 teams that can really score. We don't play either of them.
Yeah. All right. Now, Patrick Miller, P-Mill, says we need to get more people attending the game. This team is fun to watch. I totally agree with you. Now, listen, I'm going to stick up for fans here a little bit. In that last year was such a debilitating experience. I don't even know what the right word is. But last year was just gross all the way around. So I understand people that are kind of like, no, I'm good. But I think now Arizona's shown you enough that you should at least put your toes back into the water, that you should at least say that, because like I said, last year, I would always, I'd be like, all right, well, I'm just going to be there either way. But I think they've shown enough for you to be able to say, you know what, they're working. It's kind of like if you guys hire and fire somebody, Brogan, and let's just say that let's say you hire Ben White. Let's say AT&T makes the worst decision ever and gets rid of Ben White. And then he comes to work for you at Intuit. And that first year, Ben White is just terrible. And you're like, man, this guy doesn't try, sucks. But guess what? We got a 2-year contract with him, or whatever the case may be. And then in that second year, he really starts trying. He starts doing well. You're starting to see a marked improvement. You're going to be more intrigued by what Ben White has to offer, no?
Yes, but I'm going to be cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, like you are with this team.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, was that a good analogy?
It was okay.
Was Brennan not trying last year, or was he just in over his head and there were so many challenges? I don't think it's an effort thing, but I mean, we can roll with the analogy if you want.
I don't know. Yeah, I like the analogy. I thought it was
And
good.
I think with the fans, though, last year's team was coming off a 10-win season, and everybody thought they were going to like vie for the Big 12 title, and they ended up finishing last or whatever.
Right.
And so this year, it's like, fool me once, fool me twice. Everybody's a little,
Right.
But it's a Friday night game. There's high school football. There's out-of-towners. People have to work. The game was at 6. There's a million reasons why there wasn't going to be 50,000 fans tonight.
Right.
We'll see what happens for the Oklahoma State game.
Hey,
and there's
Dennis,
not going
don't
to
tell
be
him about
50,000
that.
fans. There's not going to be 50,000 fans until, we're at the end of the year where they can get 8-9 wins, if I'm being honest. Like, that's what it's going to take.
Yeah. And you know what? In Arizona, we have high expectations. So that's just going to be the way that it is. Okay. Now, and like you said, last year too, you had terrible coaches. Let's just say this. Let's say that you bring in Ben White, and part of the reason that he's so bad at his job is that he has
Just an awful boss in John Brogan, right?
Well, not only an awful boss, but no, don't watch it, Jerry. It was terrible. But let's say that Ben White has a terrible support system around him, and that you get there and Ben White doesn't have a car, and that the support system just sucks, and you're like, you know what, the people
The
around
phone
him,
won't work, the leads suck, the marketing department's
all
useless.
of that. But then Ben White overhauls his entire team around him to become a better worker at Intuit. You're going to have more optimism, though. I'm just saying.
Like for me in general, forget the bad work analogies. Brendan gets a ton of credit.
Bad work. Screw you.
Brendan gets a ton of credit for making the moves at the coordinator positions, especially bringing in Daggy, where the offense is now creative. I mean, nobody in their right mind thought Fafita runs the ball 15 times in a game ever. Right. And so, and then obviously we know Gonzalez can be a defensive coordinator. He was a D coordinator, a head coach. He's got the pedigree and all those things. So I think that's what people care about the most is if you're a coach and you're loyal to your guys and you just lose every year, that's one way to do it. But the coach who can fire people who are close to him, like Brennan and Dino Babers had a really close relationship and he had to fire him. I'm sure that was a hard thing to do. But the fact that he's willing to make those changes shows that he wants to win and he's going to prioritize winning. And
did you ever have to fire a close friend? Like a close friend?
Yeah.
Was it hard?
Yeah. I mean, it's always hard, but for me, we always have an understanding that if you work for me and we're friends, if you get fired, it's 100% your fault. It will never be because I did it. It'll be because of what you did.
Because you're not looking to fall. Yeah.
We set those ground rules at the very beginning. I will go out of my way to not fire you, but if it gets to that point, it's on you, not me.
Just like when you were fired by Shear, Mike.
Yeah, I was fired by Shear. I was doing a terrible job. So, either way, a win is a win is a win. This almost convinces me we're a bowl team. I'm going to go on record right now, and I said this before the season. I will be disappointed if this is not a bowl team. By the way, Andrew Gilbert, those were very kind words earlier. Thank you very much. I'll be disappointed if this team doesn't get 6 wins. And especially, too, with the way that Arizona travels. I mean, you got a massive Arizona football fan base that's going to go anywhere. Bowl games are going to want Arizona if they get to 6 wins. Let's be honest. You know?
Well, outside of that, I mean, there's 478 bowls now. So everybody who wins 6 games has the chance to go to a bowl. So
okay. Now let's get a couple.
Aren't they taking 5-win teams there for a minute too?
Yeah, I think they were. I don't know that Arizona has the gravitas to get in there with one of those exceptions. I think those are for like schools that are like not good, but whatever. All right, now Foster Plumbing, Ben White. Do you have plumbing in your place?
Believe it or not, I do. Yes.
Or are you living in like a teepee?
No, I just go in the backyard. Of course, I have plumbing.
Do you still go in the backyard? All right. Well, either way.
No.
All right. You've upgraded. Either way, get in with Foster Plumbing. Danny Foster, my friends. Yeah, Foster Plumbing. They got like 8 trucks that are up and down the street right now. And again, it's for if your toilet gets clogged or if you don't know what you're doing, like me, have these people on call. Because guess what, guys? This isn't like a politician that would only work 8 to 5 or something like that and then had to call it a day to go to bed. You have stuff where you're like with 24/7 stuff, 24/7 service with Foster Plumbing. Because again, this stuff just doesn't happen on its own, And again, they'll be there at 9:30. They'll be there at 1:30. All of that stuff. Now, Dennis Walsh is very upset about these front pipes in there. And that, like I said, Dennis Walsh has been making a huge deal about that. It's almost as important as the lay for Dennis Walsh. But the front pipe is an odd look. I don't know why that's there, but, it is what it is. Don't blame me. Back the pipe. Big 12 Bobby says, I need my front pipes replaced. Who doesn't need their front pipes replaced? Okay.
My front pipe works just fine.
I was going to say, you got 3 kids, man. It's working all right. Yes, the front pipe. I'm definitely stealing that one. That one's awesome. All right. Brogan has confirmed that the front pipe. Speaking of which, I don't know where anybody is right now. I can't see anybody. Ben, Brogan, are you there?
We're here.
My screen looks the same. Nothing has changed.
I don't see anything. Oh, okay. Much better. Yes, much better. Now, Arizona Primary Eye Care, back the eye. Now part of the My Eye Doctor Network. Hey, there's very few things in life that can make me look cool. And if you look at me, you're like, man, there's nothing cool about this guy. But man, he's got cool glasses. Look at those things. These are Tom Fords. Ben White, you should get Tom Fords. You don't have Tom Fords, do you?
Don't need glasses yet.
Yeah, all right. Brogan, you don't need glasses, but I see you squinting. You need glasses.
No, I'm hanging on by a thread.
No, dude, you're like, but you should go to Arizona Primary Eye Care, though, and you can get these Tom Fords. They'll make you look even better. Check it out. Tom Ford, back the eye. 60-plus insurance is accepted. Same-day urgent visits, 520-322-2713. Okay. Yeah, the refs do need these ads. Well, I want to get to those refs here in a second. Okay, what else do we got? Oh, man, we got so many reads now. Longview. All right, Longview. I'm not going to endorse Andre Veras under any circumstances. Now, you got Joseph in the chat that only deals with high-end clients. Andre deals with anybody. He can deal with people like Joseph who lives in the one-bedroom shack with his brother, or you can deal with John Brogan or Ben White, people that are in a different tax bracket. And you said you have a young family and you want to build a foundation. Andre Veras is there for you. Again, will not endorse, but will highly recommend Andre Veras. Give Andre a call at 520-325-3456 and reference the AZ12 podcast. I don't know where Kobe is. Somebody tweeted Kobe and asked him where the hell he is. I saw him tweeting at Rich Carrillo earlier. All right, check that out. Yeah, Longview. All right, now what else you got? All right. Well, either way. Okay. Appreciate you, Tyler. Okay.
Kobe's at Whataburger right now.
Is he at Whataburger?
According to his Twitter, yep.
You dummy. Okay, let's talk about the officiating here for a second. I got back in the fourth quarter. listen, I'm for replay. I think it's good. I think you have to have some kind of limitation though on how long you can look at the replay. That replay took 10 minutes and that should have taken 10 seconds. What are they looking at?
Well, it's bad when Mike Pereira is like, I don't know what's taking so long. This is pretty clear cut. There's no way this isn't a first down. What are they doing? And then one of the announcers was like, well, that's 7 minutes of our life we won't get back. So it was so bad that the commentators couldn't let it go. It's ridiculous.
Well, nor should they. What were they looking at? That was one of those things you look at it for 5 seconds. You're like, oh, it's a first down. Okay, where are we exactly marketing it? Where's the time? Let's go. What are they doing?
And it didn't matter where you were watching, right? Like whether it was the TV, it was as obvious as day. But even if you're up in the press box or high up, you could see it was a first down. Right. I even hit rewind because I was looking like half at my phone, half at the TV. I was like, did I miss something? And I rewinded it. I'm like, what are we looking at here? But yeah, I mean, it was bizarre. I've watched football a while, and I've never seen somebody like Mike Pereira sit there and be like, I got nothing. Those guys are paid to give you a 2-minute speech when you throw it to them. He had no idea.
What was crazy about that was the second worst thing of the night. The first one was when they all looked at each other for 3 minutes and was like, you know what? No penalty. None of us know what the call is, so we're just going to pick it up.
Dude, yep. I was still up in the box at that point, and everyone's like, okay. And then they're literally take like 5 minutes, like they talk with all of each other, and then they're like, ha ha ha. Let's see here. Hold on. No, Yokomo Kid, you're right. Kokomo Kid, you're totally wrong on that. That is my laugh. That is 100% my laugh.
Anybody that knows me, authentic laugh. Yeah.
That is I don't fake laugh. That's exactly how I laugh. So it's not a good thing. I'm not. Trust me. I actually had a guy named Herb Crow one time. When I was at 1290, that called me into his office and asked if I could change how I laughed. And I'm like, well, it's kind of difficult. I don't know. Yeah. So it's more of a laugh. So just like this on this show, you guys can attest to this. This is who I am, correct? Good or bad. This is definitely who I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so take
100%.
that. Boom. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Now, let's talk to Cody. Do we have any more reads?
Nope. We are done.
We're good. All right. We don't have 88 crime today. We already did 88 crime earlier. All right, guys, let's get our final thoughts in here. John Brogan, Ben One White. I almost said John One Brogan. John Brogan, Ben One White. What are your thoughts on this game? Man,
you said John Brogan first.
You guys are overwhelmed by what I just asked. It was such a difficult question.
Yeah, let me think about this one.
Let me see
I think, again, I said it before. This was the measuring stick for Arizona. If they lost this game, it was like, okay, we're winning 4.5. Like, Vegas said it went up to 5.5. But the fact that they won this game, but I think more importantly, the fact that the defense dominated Kansas State outside of the one long touchdown run, I think increases the optimism meter by about 10 points. And so I'm still not entirely happy with the receiving core dropping passes, and we can't press the ball down the field too much without better pass protection. But those things I can deal with. Special teams has to get cleaner. But the fact that the defense is so awesome so far is like, I don't know how we can't be in position to win any game if the defense keeps it up. So for me, it's shout out to the defense.
We were just talking about Kobe L. Field. Look at this guy. Tyler, remind me on Monday. We'll figure something out. Yeah, look at that. All right. Ben One White, what do you think about this? And then I'll give my thought. And nobody really cares, but I'll give my thoughts. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think you were going to be happy with a win, obviously, but you were going to be really happy with a convincing win. And I know it should have been by more. It was only 6 points, but the way Arizona dominated at the line of scrimmage, the way their offense was able to move the ball, the way the defense played, it's something that you wanted to see, in your first conference game. I get it's not going to count technically as a conference game, but it was your first real opponent on the schedule to get a measuring tap to see, okay, how does this team look? I mean, is there a lot of improvement from last year? And, I'm not saying the roster is 10 times better, but you apply better coaching, you get your guys healthy, and, it looks night and day better. How much better? To be determined. But Arizona did a good job. They did what they needed to do. There's a lot to clean up. And even though that there's a lot to clean up, they still were the better team by far. It wasn't even close. So Fafita continues to play well. Running game is on point. Doesn't seem to matter who you put back there. They find a way to move the ball. And Arizona's just got to clean up a couple of little things. And I'm sure they'll find a way to certainly improve. And it gives you optimism looking at the conference season. we talked about it earlier. You don't play Texas Tech.
Right.
You don't play Utah. And you play a lot of teams that, quite honestly, don't have, killer offenses. So if you can score the way you did tonight and some more, you're going to be in a pretty good position to win, 7-8 games, assuming the team stays healthy and they continue to get better. So all in all, I would say probably a B+ for me, considering what you saw today.
Yeah, I'll go B+, A-. I'm going to go A-. Ben One White runs a tough schedule right there. Between Ben One White's tough grading scale and John Brogan confirming that his front pipe works, we found out a lot of stuff about both these men today. All right, now, Colorado is that bad. Colorado's awful. I watched a little bit of that game. They suck. They got that white guy quarterback in there. He's terrible. The other quarterback's the Saltine guy. He's terrible. And then they got the little guy that's supposed to be good, but he sucks too. So, whatever. But I'm happy with this, man. A win is a win is a win is a win is a win. I am going to say this, though. Dennis Walsh, you are wrong about something. We don't care about style points. I would agree with that to a certain degree. Arizona can never turn into Iowa. They can never turn into Iowa. I will not watch. I will not support any kind of football that tries to win 6-3. Arizona tries to score points. That is a good thing. I will never support something, though, Brogan, where they try not to score the football and try to win some weird way. Would you agree with this?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the style points thing is it's more about if they continue to make the same mistakes, then they lose games against better teams. That's the thing I care about. If you clean up some of the things today, win's a win. Cool. But if they clean up a few of the things, then we can keep winning. If they don't, well, then we lose games we probably shouldn't lose down the road.
All right, Adam Parker, Ricino should be good. I would imagine he'll be good for the next game, holding him out, precaution, all that stuff. Okay, now everybody go to Little Caesars right now. Kobe L. Field, I know you're driving home. I know your AC isn't working. Go to Little Caesars right now, and that will make your car even warm. I don't know that you're going to watch. Either way, just
I went
go to
last
Little
night, Mike. I went to Little Caesars last night.
Did you use code?
And I used the code. Mm-hmm.
Did you really? Why didn't you real time it, jerk?
Yeah, because I had it delivered.
Piece of crap. Okay, but either way, code 15 off 20, 15 off 20, 50% off any $20 or more purchase, code LCFREECC. Free crazy combo with pizza purchase. A lot of people, Little Caesars is the official sponsor of the MNFL, but guess what? That's not what they're known for primarily. They are known for being the presenting partner of the AC12
this podcast, right? But not the NFL. Yeah.
Let's be honest here. All right. You guys are fantastic. We appreciate all of you. We'll be back on Monday. I got 2 days off right now. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. All right. For Ben One White, for John Brogan, Cody James Martin behind the scenes, I am merely Mike Luke. You guys are awesome. Very much appreciate you. And again, if anybody had any concerns, that front pipe for John Brogan, A-okay. You've been
Mike.
What's that?
Before we go, gotta read Super Snaps.
Oh, Super Snaps. Yeah, let's get back to the Super Snaps. I thought I did this. No, I'm not talking about the booger wall. Okay. $5 for land acknowledgement, wins and orange slices. Colton Hawthorne. Yeah, very much appreciated. That's such a good name. LJ Wombology. Are our receivers not getting separation? Noah not making reads O-line. I've been hoping to see a stronger passing game. Fair enough. Okay, what else we got? Jerry Reyes, the great Jerry Reyes. We need to work on penalties, some stickier gloves, some mitts, and special teams, but I like what I see. Bear the F down, back the A, the great Jerry Reyes. All right, now, Stut Joe. Proud of the Cats, but does Kansas State suck or Arizona real? A little bit of both. Okay, what else? Talk to me. Luke Ornelas, $4.99. We would have killed for this win last year. I don't even need to read the rest. You're exactly right. You're going to just put a period right there, my friend. Perfect. Yep. Okay, what else we got? Talk to me. Talk to me, Cody. All right, TJ Van Marter, the great TJ Van Marter as well. Danny G should have been DC last season. Talent not much better, but better scheming and much more energy. That's part of, that's like we talked about with Ben One White and John Brogan. If you got a boss and you got somebody under you, you just need him to keep improving and moving upward. I like the analogy. I'll keep using it. Okay, what else we got? Beisner, 1999. I promised myself I wouldn't get hyped about football again until Brendan was gone, but damn it, I'm back in. Back the A. We love seeing that. Yeah. Hey, listen, be all in until you're not all in. Brian Gregston, $4.99. If I said you had a beautiful Maudie, would it hold it against me? No, but especially because you donated $5. Say whatever you want, man. All right, Stutcho, Ben One White. Big Ben One White here, fellas, looking for an explanation regarding the Seattle phone call. Ben still claims that you did not make that phone call.
I've explained it like 15 times, man.
All right. Yeah, Ben's tired of it, but keep asking him. Okay, now Iowa State beat Kansas State by 3. BTFD, very, very true, Jerry. And I'm not making any passive-aggressive remarks. I actually agreed with you. Okay, now H. Fuchs, Leeson Al Gaib. What does that mean? I don't know. Sounds like a
back the A in some foreign language, let's say.
Yeah, all right. I would
Maybe.
say, yeah, TJ Wilmore. The defense was hitting and playing hard. If you gave Kansas State the ball 10 more times at the 25, they wouldn't have scored again. The last drive felt like it never had a chance. Very, very good. I feel like I probably should have known what that was, but whatever. Okay, Monty, first round pick in the MNFL draft, Andy Bryant, 499, super snap. Boom, 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 boom. Our OC Bodybuilders, great name. Hey, Ben White, when we were living at the Standard, OC Bodybuilders was there.
Really?
Yeah. We did not. I watched Dune. I didn't like Dune. I thought Dune bored me. I went there with Raquel, and it bored me senseless. All right. Well, on our way to going bowling. Back the A. Back the Ben 1 White. Okay. Now, what else we got? Let's see here. Yeah, check that out. OC Bodybuilders. Okay. Now, what else we got? Dennis Walsh, undefeated in no lay games. Yeah. Who doesn't want to get laid at some point? All right. Check it out. 499. Girth Brooks. That's a great name. Thank you for Genesis Smith. We like Genesis Smith on this show. Okay, yeah, I didn't register at all. Now, Girth Brooks, again, not a lot of use for him anymore.
I'm assuming that's not Genesis.
Yeah, I would assume you're not talking about Genesis Smith because we could definitely still use him. Yeah, Genesis, don't go anywhere.
Lisan al-Gaib means the tongue of the unseen or the voice from the outer world. So that might have been for me.
Oh, that's definitely, yeah, that should go straight to Cody. Yeah, straight donation to Cody. Just Venmo Cody. Okay. All right. Now, what else we got? Let's see. Yeah, we're going to do the bowl game on location. All right. Is that it, Cody?
Yep, that's it.
All right. Everybody out there, sincerely, though, you guys are absolutely fantastic. Very much appreciate all you. John Brogan, appreciate you pinch hitting, my friend. Like I said, keep an eye on the little Rugrats. Say hello to Jessica. And like I said, thanks for clearing up some issues about the front pipe. Very, very good to know. Ben One Pipe. Ben One Pipe, yes. Ben One White, you are the man as well. We very much appreciate it. And that intricate tight end knowledge that we can only get from certain folks. Cody James Martin behind the scenes. I am merely Mike Luke. Appreciate all of you guys, and we will be back with you tomorrow. Or not tomorrow. I'm going to take a few days off. I'll talk to you Monday. TTFN. Ta-ta for now. Ben One Pipe.